Welcome to the podcast. Today we're diving deep into the simple yet powerful metrics every property investor needs to track.
Absolutely. I'm intrigued by the idea that most investors don't fail because they buy the wrong properties, but because they lose track of the right numbers.
Exactly, it's so true. You see, people get buried in endless spreadsheets tracking dozens of KPIs, when really you only need a handful to know if you're winning or losing.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a refreshing take. Instead of 47 metrics, the idea is to focus on clarity. Can you break down which metrics are considered essential?
Sure thing. First off, we have cash flow, and I mean actual monthly cash flow on a per property basis. Not just what looks good on paper, but what's really in your pocket after all
Right,
costs.
indeed. That makes sense. A property that's not cash flowing is more of a drain, huh?
Exactly. If it doesn't generate cash, it's essentially a liability. Next, we have occupancy or void periods. It's critical to know how often a property is empty because, um, one extra month of vacancy can wipe out an entire year's
Yeah,
profit.
that's a huge impact. I imagine that not only reflects on demand, but could also point to, say, management issues.
Spot on. It helps pinpoint if the issue is market demand or, um, something in the way the property is managed. Then there's cost per property. We're talking about maintenance, compliance, management fees, utilities, all those sneaky costs that can eat up
Very
profit
true.
without you even realizing.
It's like a slow leak in a boat. You might not see it at first, but eventually it sinks the profits.
Precisely. And then, of course, there's return on investment. Not what you dreamed of before buying the property, but what the property is actually delivering now. It's about ensuring your money is working as
Right
hard
on.
as possible.
And what about the time investment? I heard something about that.
Yes, the time cost. This metric often gets ignored. It quantifies just how much time each property demands from you. I mean, if a great deal steals all your evenings and weekends, you've got to ask, is it really worth it?
Yeah, I can see that. Quite a reality check, isn't it? Sometimes all that time spent isn't just about money, but your personal life too.
Absolutely. And here's where the concept of a system mindset comes in. The goal is not to turn you into a spreadsheet wizard, but to have a clear system that tells you at a glance what's working, what's drifting, and what
Very
needs
strategic.
attention.
So basically, by using dashboards, automation, or even AI support, you get rid of the noise to focus on what matters, right?
Yes, indeed. It's about leveraging technology to get better visibility without adding complexity. You want a tool that highlights key trends and problems rather than overwhelm you with data.
Right, that's a smart approach. However, let me challenge one point here. While focusing on fewer metrics is great, isn't there a risk of missing critical mismatches if you ignore other data?
That's a fair point. But the idea here is that too much data can lead to analysis paralysis. By honing in on the most impactful numbers, you can act faster. It's like, having a map with only the essential landmarks rather than every tiny detail.
I see your reasoning, yeah. It definitely makes the process more manageable for busy investors.
Exactly. And remember, once you're consistent with these metrics, you'll start spotting problems early on and can make better decisions, which in turn avoids those nasty surprises.
Timely action is key. The emphasis on tracking trends rather than static totals is brilliant too. It's all about noticing if costs creep up over time or if there's a sudden change in occupancy.
Absolutely, trends matter more than one off numbers. They help you see the trajectory of your investment, so you know whether to celebrate little wins or to re strategize.
Right, indeed. And it also ties into the overarching idea that what gets measured gets managed, correct?
Exactly. When you measure effectively, you manage more confidently. It's not about having more deals or more strategies, it's about having the right visibility on your investments.
Very practical advice. I really like this approach. It strips property investing down to its basics without the fluff.
Right. And it's a reminder that simplicity often beats complexity. The simpler your method, the more consistently you can track it, and the easier it is to respond to changes quickly.
Absolutely, simplicity is key. And with automation and, well, even AI helping out, it seems like a future proof way to manage investments without getting bogged down.
Yes, it's all about removing the manual noise. Technology is there to support your decisions, giving you a clear snapshot of performance without endless manual work.
Right, exactly. This really changes the way we think about property management, doesn't it? Instead of chasing numbers, you let the metrics tell you where to focus, making the business much calmer and scalable.
Precisely. Consistent tracking of these key metrics turns chaotic data into a manageable system. It's like having a well tuned dashboard that alerts you before things spiral out of
I love that
control.
analogy. And at the end of the day, what investors really want is clarity and a chance to actually grow their portfolio without constantly putting out fires.
Spot on. It really is about creating a calm, clear outlook on your business. With these metrics, you get to see which properties come through, which need a bit more care, and where your time is truly best spent.
Right. It's like turning chaos into a well oiled machine. So the takeaway is clear. You don't need more deals or complex strategies. You just need better visibility, right?
Exactly. Track the few numbers that matter consistently, and your property business becomes far more scalable and easier to manage.
Absolutely. This conversation really brings out the beauty of simplicity in investing. Hills, sometimes less really, is more when it comes down to metrics.
Precisely. And by focusing on these simple metrics cash flow, occupancy, costs, ROI, and time cost you're setting yourself up
Yeah,
for
it's
long
a
term
game changer,
success.
indeed. I'm definitely going to rethink my approach. Thanks for breaking it down so clearly.
My pleasure. Remember, what gets measured gets managed, and when it comes to property investing, clarity is your best friend.